Live from Irving, Texas. It's Friday night.
It's Triple D.
Triple D.
Triple D at North Texas.
By the way, these are not out. These are not out. Well,
Yes, they
when
are.
I what,
Yes, they are. Hey, it's wine. That counts.
all right, all right. So, we are here at North Texas. It is Friday night. We know it's generally it's a late start to the normal 8 p.m. New York City time start, but we're at a convention. That's why we are in this room. You're going to have a lot of background noise. Well, we could have, but
Yeah, whatever.
it would have meant too much time in the bar afterwards. You have to pace it.
There's too much time in a bar.
Yeah, they can be. It's in theory.
Okay, that is Eric Tenkar.
Yeah, that's Glen and off screen.
Oh my God! And this is say hi.
Ty Beard. You may know him from various lawyer shows. Ty's also been on our show on occasions on Wednesdays. He certainly has. So, the reason why Glenn and I do this particular live is we like to do it.
We're masochists.
Well, that's part of it. But we like to do it in this room. This is registration is to my right. It's over that way. So this is where the open gaming tables are. There during the day there is open painting
and gaming.
You know, we did a Ghostbusters with Glen earlier today.
Had some gangbusters yesterday. Got some more tomorrow.
Rach and I played in Greg Gillespie's Barrel Maze this morning.
Jason and I did a couple hours in one of the Frog God games.
You know, I had the. I didn't know that Greg does death certificates for the PCs that he kills, and he writes out their cause of death, and the last player's cause of death had to be amended because it was rock ropes. So I had to do what I could do to attempt to save him. All right. So the only thing I had access to was a lantern with flaming oil. So I smashed him with the lantern, killing him, setting him on fire, but killing the rock grub. So the addendum was initially death by rock grubs, and then it was amended, and it was like and Tenkar.
See,
yes.
See, next time, this is what you do. You take an arrow from whoever has arrows, light them on fire, and burn the damn thing like this.
You know,
in the heat of battle,
cauterize
it. In the heat of battle, who thinks of such?
Right.
But the rock grubs make really nice noise when you do that.
I was a magic user. I had slings. I had sling bullets. That wasn't going to help any. I could light them on fire.
Wasn't there an archer in the group or anything?
They were all dead.
Well, then you loot the bodies for arrows.
They were dead, and I can't use arrows, so I wasn't looting their bodies. They were dead. We'd already lost 3 party members when I killed the 4th.
Okay.
I'm just saying, just explaining.
You failed in your rescue.
Yeah, there you go.
My rescue attempt was insufficient.
That's right.
It wasn't a failure.
You would have died regardless of what.
I was successful in hitting him with the lantern and the oil, so it was insufficient success.
I can file an appeal with Greg if you'd like.
Yeah, I don't know if the appeal was still.
By the way,
what?
I'm wearing one of my shirts.
Oh yeah, that's the Torchlight shirt.
That's the cover of Torchlight #1. He got one too. My grandson got one, so we're gonna flood him with that. I'm trying to push my artwork on T-shirts and stuff.
Everyone is entitled to my opinion.
I put for a price.
All right, so I have a shirt similar to that, but not quite, because the front said, I still say I have one left. 4-1 precinct, Fort Apache, Tracer unit, and on the back, everyone goes.
You know, I'd pay money to get a shirt like that.
We had some really great buff shirts, and then I think in 2000, the job said no more buff shirts allowed.
Oh,
Yep, because I had the street crime unit shirt, which had the quote from Hemingway: "There is no hunting like the hunting of man."
Well, I just bought one in the dealer room. Was it in my day? We had Thaco and we used it uphill both ways, and we liked it.
in the fallout.
Liz read that to Mike, and he says, "I've got to have it."
You really can't claim to be an old school gamer. Sorry.
Excuse me.
Your D4, it has to be able to take an eye out, or you're not.
Or at least cripple somebody.
Yeah, I mean, okay, he's making possible.
Right. And now I got to say, like today, Rachel's looking at her pre-gen that Greg handed out, and she was smart. She took the fighter because I could see she was tempted to take something else, but she said, "You know what? In the end, I wound up beating on shit anyway. Just give me the fighter." So she got a Cyclopsman.
Know yourself.
Right.
Know your enemy.
So she's reading her equipment list, and it has caltrops, and she goes, "Holy shit!" I go, "What?" She goes, "I've heard this word from you and in games for years. I never saw it how it was spelled." I go, "Let me guess. You thought it was cow trops."
Cow drops.
She's
Cow.
Cow
yes,
drops.
It's an
Yeah.
easy mistake to make.
Well, today for the first time,
Oh, but-
I heard that, is it pittons? I've always called them pittons. And
Like kittens only with a P.
yeah, but Meinhardt's calling them pitons. The things they hammer in. Yeah, pitons. I said, do you say it pecans or pecans? I've always called it, because that's one of the words I read. And never
Right.
That's there ought to be a term for people that learn their vocabulary from reading.
Gygaxian, because that's how I learned all these stupid words.
Oh, by the way,
When I was in college, I used the word good sex machine.
Dude, I
But-
literally, growing up, I thought hors d'oeuvres and hors d'oeuvres were two different things. I thought it was trilogy, not trilogy. I had no clue on this stuff.
Don't
Well,
worry, I was saying zine was it? I was saying what's I saying zines when they're zines.
I always said
I-
sign until I
I
heard
think I always
Yeah.
said sign.
Well,
Yeah.
CINE, that's the implied.
Right. No, it's a zine, construed from magazine.
when I was a long time ago, when I was on Save or Die, we had the dubious pleasure of reviewing the D&D review, Castle Caldwell and Beyond, and I assumed his name was Harry Nicholas, and it's pronounced Harry Knuckles.
you don't know till you hear it though.
Yeah, I thought Nicholas. Okay, must be some Latin, or something like that. By the way, folks, Shane Stack's right here.
Oh, are we
Next-
streaming?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we are.
Can they see me?
No.
Oh, but can they hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Hello.
I mean, are we going to be turning this thing around like last time we did it?
Oh, maybe when we're done with the
I think you're the one. Show his face. Show his face.
Well, hi everybody. I just dropped $200 in fucking games.
man.
I was gonna say how much was the advanced set?
Well, originally it was supposed to be $125, but he offered me
The
a
deal?
bundle deal because I bought the basic set, the advanced set,
And
a
if
couple
you,
of supplements, and the Spidey box set. So
oh, nice.
he's got me a good deal.
All
Yeah,
right.
I've got my box set at home. $10 from Half Price Books.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
Uh,
I got my Ghostbusters box set there too for $10.
was Ghostbusters or Ghostbusters 2?
Ghostbusters
The
1
original
with
Ghostbusters.
a ghost die.
That's and you got it at half price. It was, the ghost
Yeah.
side was still in there,
The ghost die
and
was
they
still
sold it to you for what?
$10.
How long
I
ago
didn't
was
know what
this?
they had.
That they never 10 years ago they never did.
Yeah,
Right.
but now they do.
I was
Yeah,
practically
they do.
stealing stuff from.
The interwebs.
Now they know.
Yeah, I was practically stealing stuff from.
So Ghostbusters was one of my favorite. I loved West End back in the 80s.
Yeah.
I loved Ghostbusters. I loved.
Paranoia.
I loved.
I play tested
Did you
for them one
for
day.
that game?
Paranoia. one of the Hill Sector Blues adventures.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
I was one of the play testers. We got, and they had an office in Midtown Manhattan. They play tested at night. You couldn't come in through the front. You had to come in through the service entrance in the back. And then you were brought up by a freight elevator. You went into their office and you actually sat on somebody's desk.
Nice.
To play. They didn't have a conference room for you to play.
They had offices in Midtown.
When they started. Then they went to when they went to Honesdale, PA in the Poconos, and my parents have a place, the old Highlights building. And then they went totally out of business. That's when they lost the Star Wars license.
Like the old Highlights as in Highlights magazine.
Yes, the old Highlights magazine.
No.
So speaking of Star Wars, that's Paranoia, Ghostbusters,
Star Wars,
and Star Wars West End Gate WEG.
Right.
3 amazing games.
Oh yeah.
D6 Star Wars is the only Star Wars for me.
D6 Star Wars. If I have to, I'll play D20 Star Wars as a fallback. I don't like. Is it Decipher that did the one? It doesn't feel like so. But West End Game Star Wars, fantastic.
I blow.
Yep.
Well, they had a fantastic line of supplements.
They really,
Especially considering no internet. I mean,
when they came and said,
They
"Hey, we're
saved
going to
the
start
franchise.
doing the novels and all
They
that."
saved the franchise.
Yeah.
Yep.
They handed them the source books from the role-playing game because there wasn't anything else around.
Right.
So when they started doing the extended universe, that's all they had to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was running Ghostbusters earlier today,
Were
and
you
I used to blow people away saying, this ended up being Star Wars.
It did. Yeah, it was the first.
Yep.
No, really?
Most people evidently, but most people don't know Ghostbusters was the first dice pool system ever, and then that led it. Yeah,
Really?
Ghostbusters
Into Star Wars. Yeah.
was the first dice pool system, at least published. There might have been some homebrew thing out there.
But don't remember Paranoia. I ran it.
All right,
Used
so-
percentile.
Here.
I remember that.
I got Paranoia first edition, and I was so excited. I come home and I open up the box, and what did you need back in the 80s when you bought a game? Dice. It had no effing dice in the box.
Did you have your own dice?
Didn't make a difference. Dice were gold back then.
Huh?
So I wrote the company. No internet. You write the company, send my letter.
Where's my freaking dice?
2 weeks later, I get a letter back from Ken Ralston.
It says,
Dear Eric, we're so sorry to hear that your box was missing dice. We don't understand how that could have ... Computer breaks in. Obviously, a lack of dice means that I'm treasonous, and I must turn myself into the authorities.
Is that what he said?
I really was. It was all. I still have the letter. It's still in my original Paranoia
Because
book.
he didn't take good care of the computer's equipment. He
Right.
misplaced the computer's dice.
And then he came back. I never got replacement dice, but I have a letter that is irreplaceable.
I bet you could auction that letter off for hundreds of bucks.
Yeah, I'd frame that. That's great.
Yeah,
You almost sounded like the Joker from Harley Quinn. Where's my goddamn
Yeah.
electric car, Bruce?
yeah.
Yeah, I know. Paranoia was so funny. You didn't have to play it.
You get 6 characters. 6 clones.
6 clones because
Right.
you were expected to die. And
Right.
there would be some that would be like, this is a.
Liberating your role.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kill them with reckless abandon because
Well, and if it was, you knew the difficulty of the module because you'd be like, this is a 90-point adventure.
Yeah.
I ran it one time at the game show I went to, and at one point they were getting up to doing something really stupid, and the helicopter that always arrived to let the plane their intel out, the helicopter got there before they actually did it.
Because it was that dumb.
It's hovering. It's
Okay,
waiting.
I said,
It's just gonna
yeah,
wait.
City replaced the helicopter.
But y'all go ahead. Dumb.
No, I remember. I played it once. I remember having the books, and you ever played? Steve Jackson's Ogre,
Yes. Played the shit out of
and
it.
that one scenario, me and my Shadow Mark IV. You're basically babysitting an ogre.
Oh yeah.
I've actually got a game I think it was originally a Vietnam era. It was like Hill 218 or something.
Okay.
And they reskinned it into Ogre 218.
Oh, let's just show that for people.
Yeah, I always carry that with me.
That's
It's just a quick little fun game.
Oh,
Steve Jackson Games was known for these
Yeah.
quick little.
yeah, in the little plastic box.
Is it signed?
It was. You had Ogre. You had GEV.
That was my first game.
But
Yeah,
that's based
yeah.
on a Vietnam scenario game. And then they reskinned it.
Okay, so it's not an ogre
No.
expansion. It's its own.
It's its own game. Yeah.
So I mean, and by the way, folks, this is what you do at North Texas.
Yep.
You socialize with people. You hang out. You do play games, but this is the one place you can tell your gaming stories and people don't fucking tune you out.
Right. They don't glass eye.
Yeah, it's
And drink.
Full frontal nerding. I mean,
well, full front.
Full
full
frontal.
frontal nerding. Yeah.
Now, when we say that, there are people who probably should have larger shirts.
What's that?
This is Amarillo Design Bureau adapted Starfleet Battles into a card game.
Okay,
Oh,
they use
really?
the- And they use the VHS base. as
Yeah,
well.
but it actually is surprisingly complex, even though it's
Oh,
not
really?
just a. It's
Wait,
not
wait,
playing
Star
Slapjack.
based upon Starfleet, and it's.
complicated.
Show
Why? Why I am shocked.
I do not have this in my game collection. I
It-
do.
It's surprisingly crunchy. You would
I'm-
think it was
I'm-
just like Slapjack, but no, it's like it's crunchy.
I have Starfleet Battle, never played it, and I think I got Starfire or something like that,
Fire is actually really
which
good.
was playable.
Yeah.
That one was
That's more of a
playable.
board game version of Starfleet.
Yeah, but it's like
Starfire is a separate sci-fi
game, but it's it is.
Very
But
old. It was. I don't know if it predated Starfleet.
no, it
Battle,
came
but-
I think it came after, but it took inspiration from, but also said, you know what? Maybe you don't have a calculus background.
Right.
Maybe.
The mechanic is you list all your systems on a sheet of notebook paper.
Which sounds like
Left to right.
Starfleet Battles.
Well, no. It doesn't have displays like Starfleet Battle. So you got like 5 shields. You write S 5 times. Then you arrange your weapons and your engines and your various components, whatever order you want. And in general, as you take damage, you just mark it off left to right.
Yeah.
And so when you design your ships, you get switch requests, you almost save engines.
Oh, excuse me, guys. Hey, bartender.
Hey bartender.
Hey, bartender.
I'm not really a bartender, but I play one on TV.
Since you're,
Yeah.
Such-
Shane, where's your glass?
Oh, I'm good.
Well,
I'm
yeah, what-
good. Thank you.
You guys are gonna get half the glass. You gotta share. We only have the one bottle.
Yeah.
I didn't think of buying another second bottle when I was across the
Like I
street.
said, this is kickstarting the bar later.
Yeah, so kickstarting. But what they really should do is you guys should run a Kickstarter and people can pledge to buy you drinks, right? There's a we'll call it the drink starter.
What's that thing that
The
Bad
wine
Mike
starter.
did when he went to Gary Con? Because I know I pledged that to buy him a sandwich or something.
Are you talking about the Kofi or whatever thing? And he was
Oh
like,
yeah, buy him a Coke.
He's like,
Hey, Mike.
buy me a sandwich on the way to Gary Con. Yeah.
No, that's fine. We got a question for you. Ty has a question for you.
What's up?
Ty, the question.
Oh, it was that thing that a couple of years back he drove to Gary Con and we could buy in and buy you a
Kofi,
sandwich.
right?
Yes.
Kofi.
What was that called?
It was
Kofi?
coffee,
Yeah,
coffee.
Right.
Yeah, I've got that.
How many people contributed to that? How
A
many
lot.
People, did they really?
I had a couple $100 and I bought a lot. I did a lot of reviews and bought a lot of sandwiches. It
so
was awesome. It was a racket.
So pay for your
I've
gas.
done it every year.
That was that bar back there.
So here's what I love: when you and Zach travel together,
Uh-huh.
he always takes pictures of you and says the most organized man in America.
Absolutely.
So what's that about? I'm
It's
assuming
because
he's being
it's so far from the
sarcastic.
truth that it's hilarious.
I'm
Because
assuming
it's like the
he's
truth
like
is
that.
here, that's way over here. And knowing that golf makes it fun.
Yeah.
So tell all the viewers at home how's the con going this time around?
It's going great. Everybody's having a great time.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of running a game. It's an awesome game.
What are you running?
I'm running the adventure I wrote, B1.5.
Yeah, the one I couldn't get into.
Beneath the Unknown.
The
Uh-oh.
one called Give Me a
I
Kofi.
enjoyed the
Yeah.
lights flickering when the airplanes flew over today.
It always happens.
That added
I
a
think
little
you're getting
bit of-
summoned,
I
Mike.
think we've had that before. All
I
right.
think you're being summoned.
then
You
I
guys
have
can take this.
then I have
What
a
happened? The
question.
lights flickered.
Yeah,
What happened though?
I was over.
Oh,
I was doing the miniature painting thing
Yeah.
with Angela Emery, and about 3 times a plane. We're right
Right.
by DFW Airport, and we're on one of the flight paths.
Yeah. No, I've actually
And-
seen them go by the hotel.
Yeah,
No way
yeah,
in the hotel.
Flew over and the lights flickered out for just a split second.
Well, now is it because of the skyline, or is it because of the actual
That's what they told-
lights?
The electricity. And so,
Really?
oh, that's interesting. Well, then it happened again and again.
I've never seen that.
Now
Never
I
been
was
there.
standing under the light, starlight here, or whatever, and when the planes were going over, and I was talking with Kelsey earlier, and every time the plane went over, it seemed like the lights were flickering, but they really weren't. It's just that you lost all the light coming
From
from
the
up
skylights,
here
right.
when the plane went over,
I'm
and
pretty
it.
sure that the actual lights.
Well, I don't know.
Something-
I know at
Today.
the first time or
The
two,
lights
me and
went
Greg
out
Christopher were
in
like,
Georgia.
"What the fuck?" And I went, "Oh no, it's just a plane going
Yeah.
over."
No, it wasn't that. It
All right.
got dark in here. Just, I mean,
That's
like-
my son mentioned the same thing.
Yeah.
I was over in Naples. So I
Well, we
didn't
were
see
painting
it.
miniatures, so it's like,
Yeah.
okay, it's
Well, my son was over there. He's all like Reaper now. Because they're like, here, have a free,
Really?
free
Yeah,
mini.
Angela Emery gave a lesson. I've been painting miniatures for 45 years. Never took the class one, and so I took her. And,
It never hurts to get the fundamentals.
I got rid of all my
well,
minis.
she paints in a very different style than I do.
You talking about the lady there?
Yeah. But
Oh,
but
it's just a
her
sweetheart.
techniques produce
Well,
better
she's like
results.
a maestro,
Oh,
right?
she's a fantastic.
She's like a master. Yeah. Speaking of Kelsey Dion, how do you say her last name?
Kelsey Dion, I first.
She was running around today.
Oh yeah.
She had
I saw her. I didn't see her since like a
yeah. She's turning into a luminary in the RPG.
But the thing is, she's approachable now.
She's friendly.
When I say
Her
she's
game's
approachable, everybody wants to approach her, but she's not one of those people that when you approach, she's like, "Oh God, I got to talk to this
good.
person."
No, she's like, hey.
She's genuine, and she really wants to talk to people in her community and those outside, those that have questions. She's really
I
a
got to give
sweetheart.
a shout out. She's extremely friendly.
You mean-
she beams.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've got to give a shout out, like all the special guests here at NTX. I haven't run into any that are like, oh God, I got to talk to you.
It's like, oh, what are you disturb me for?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Speaking
you
of- go ahead.
You really got to
Hey,
work
Chad.
out. Hey, Chad.
Come on,
Hey,
put
speaking of a special guest,
come on, put yourself on the screen for a minute.
Yeah.
You
By the way,
see?
you gotta,
Chet Minson, one of the extraordinary artists here at the North Texas RPG Con.
Hills.
You've probably seen his work on a number of convention logos.
Yeah, convention logos, posters.
Yeah.
Did the Gary Con banner this year.
who does the sort of trippy posters? Is that you,
That's
Chad, or is
Matt
that
Roberts.
someone
No,
else?
that's Matt Roberts. Yeah.
So do you have a piece of your art handy we could see?
So I did the Badger.
The Badger was
I
great.
don't know where that
Yeah, I
one
know
went, but
exactly
yeah.
what you're talking about. Let's see what's over here.
And so I did the artwork for the module for the con this year. So I did the front and back cover and some interior stuff.
So
Yeah.
again, this is the reason why we set up in the main room of the con. We can grab people like Chet.
Yes.
When they walk by.
yeah.
They're
Don't
really
grab me.
gathered.
Grab me.
Well,
Yes,
if I was gonna grab you, I'd grab you a little bit lower. Would you like some ruffles?
Hey, your game isn't for sale here.
I'm all set. No, thank you.
No, it's on Lulu.
Trying keto. I got to lose some weight.
Oh, geez.
Yes.
God bless you.
Yes. All right, guys. Good
Catch
seeing
you
you.
later.
Yeah, you too.
PDF is on War Game Balls.
So I mean, seriously, if you want to come on and talk about it, I'll have you on the show. If you want to. I don't get enough wargaming on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Holler at me sometime.
Yes, we all hate autocorrect, especially when it takes real words and makes them into a real word that it isn't. You know,
I thought it said well meat, MEAT.
or
Glen, I forgot Glen, you're a special guest.
Finally. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
I am. Thank you.
yeah.
I've been lobbying to be a special guest, but I haven't actually done anything with it.
Right? But you can identify as a
Well,
special
I
guest.
was going to say, but I think that sets me apart here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Well, I have Don Samora invited me to be a special guest at WizardCon next year,
Nice.
and he put me on the poster or whatever he's sending out to Facebook. Said Glen Hallstrom, podcaster and game designer. I said, talking about another Glen Hall.
Yeah.
I'm not a game designer.
But you
Did
right.
Mark Holt maybe
I
make it?
No, I don't think Mark's making
He
it.
did not make it today. Don did not make it. They're trying to straighten out the gangbusters thing.
Oh, okay.
He's been having trouble. They're having trouble trying to lay it out and all
Yeah.
that.
Because Mark's using an older version of
Word.
Word or WordPerfect.
Word.
Word
2010.
Word 2010, which probably, yeah.
We should have a Kickstarter game it up to me.
Yeah, get him up to date. Yeah.
I
You
think
know.
Don's going to try
Well,
to
they
do
have
that.
one free online.
But he's probably just not. He's probably doing it out of choice, not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he
Some
doesn't
people-
want to. He's
Don and his wife said
he's
they were
he's a
coming. Then I got
curmudgeon about
a
it.
phone call yesterday. I'd rather just stay here and work on with Mark to get this out. I say, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go right ahead. I want it to look good. I want it to look right.
Right.
Oh, Mark was stressing out. Like the day before I left. Oh my God, we're not going to get it done. We're supposed to get it done quickly. He says, people have given us money already. I said, oh, slow down.
It'll be okay.
I just told him I've done enough Kickstarters to know nobody ever delivers on the date they say they're going to deliver.
Right. But the thing is,
Well, and for kicks projects for people like this,
Uh-huh.
they're incredibly supportive.
yeah.
They
Yeah, I
want the
told him just
product.
I mean, and part of the follow-up is Mark is a completionist. So the day this was going to print, my understanding is Mark edited about 60 pages of material.
He's a monster with that.
Yeah.
This game I'm running here, I wrote a one-page synopsis, get ready to try and figure out how. And I mailed him. Say, what do you think? He gave me back 6 pages.
You want to
You gave- you said
get your
how
I
mug
gave
on
him one-page
Get your mug
synopsis. He
on-
gave
on
me
the
back
screen.
6 pages.
On his opinion.
He said I embellished a little. Okay, a lot.
Look at this. You see, these are the people that we actually do get.
Running the Shadow Dark that I'm kickstarting right now, Temple of the Sheep God, right over there.
Oh, cool. Did you show it to Kelsey?
I haven't seen Kelsey yet, but,
Oh, she's
but I
here.
will
She
if I
was
spot
floating
her.
around earlier.
She is busy the beaver, but
I
man,
definitely won't corner her and hassle her. That's for sure.
all right. Fair enough.
Check
So
it
does
out.
her
yeah.
wife come with her? Is her wife usually
Not
come around too?
normally she is.
Yeah.
Her wife didn't have anybody to watch their dog. Rach and I have my parents,
Uh-huh.
so but she didn't have anybody to watch the dog, so her wife had to stay behind.
Okay.
She's got a
Good.
big dedication to her.
I
just
should go
bought
back and kill some
Shadow Dark.
guys. I will kill
Go.
someone in Eric's honor.
Hey, wait, I already killed someone today.
First blood will be in your honor, sir.
in
Woo!
Greg Gillespie's
Wow,
Baronese,
that's
I
friendship
killed
right there.
somebody.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
up on Facebook as the last death in the party. Rock Grubs. I did my best to save him with the,
We had rock
with
grubs
the
today.
lantern.
So you extracted them all, right?
No.
I set him on fire.
It was going in
Is
his
this
neck.
Shadow
I hit him, but he went on fire with the rock grub.
That's fantastic.
So was this Shadow Dark? Or
That was
Yep.
Barrow Maze. That was
Okay.
Dragon Slayer.
Because I played Shadow Dark for the first time today. 'Cause
That's
you
a
know,
great game.
People will not shut up about how good it is.
It is.
So I was like, okay. So I jumped in Steve Winter's game. another
Oh, nice.
special guest, well, in fact, he helped edit one of these Marvel superheroes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right.
He
Yeah.
helped write it. He edited Star Frontiers. He worked on a bunch of other stuff.
I got mine signed by him and Jeff Grubb.
Nice. Yeah, I would love to meet Jeff Grubb for multiple reasons, but Steve Winter,
He's great.
such a good GM.
Isn't he?
So much fun. But he ran us through Shadow Dark, and the reason I was laughing is because we had Rod Grubbs today. But I mean, I went out and immediately bought a bunch. This really is a good game.
It's
It's a well put together, well organized.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I could see why people like it. And like Steve was even doing, he pulled up an app
Later, Doc.
that showed you how much time you had left on your light source, because that's critically important in Shadow Dark. Like, you don't want to lose your light source. And so he literally had a little app. There's a website that you pull up. It was made by a Shadow Dark fan. And in fact, here, I'll pull it up here.
Well, as I recall, the torches in Shadow Dark, aren't they? You have them for so many hours.
You have an hour. Yeah.
real time.
Yeah, real time.
Yeah.
So
Somehow I think Gygax would have improved.
yeah.
Yep.
So here it is.
Oh,
You
let's
pull that up,
let's show it on screen.
and well, here I'll do. There's some more. You could put it on hardcore mode, and that'll take away the timer. And you have to pay
Oh
attention.
shoot!
The color will change as it's going. So you turn that back off. Yeah.
All right, folks. Torchlighttimer.com.
And that'll go down in real time. And we were watching that thing. We were
Wow.
sweating it when that's get down to about 5 minutes left.
Y'all need to take more torches.
Yeah. And they also have a continual light version. So if you cast continual light, but there's no. Well, I guess it does have all the extra stuff. I thought somebody said it didn't. So if you cast a light spell, you can do that.
Okay,
as well,
that's
so.
very cool.
But yeah, and then these. Yeah. But
You know,
yeah, Shadow Dark is like you do not. The dark is against you. In
Right.
Shadow Dark. You don't want to get caught in the dark.
and the thing is, like, Shadow Dark is the first and the only system we've live streamed on this channel.
Oh, for real?
For real. We would swore as a group. People have been asking for years, hey, you got to live stream your games. You got to live stream your games. Like, we can't do it. We'll get canceled. Nobody will ever, you know. We're a bunch of immature assholes.
Especially potty mouth Tenkar.
Yeah. And then Shadow Dark, we got the quick start, which, by the way, the quick start is very complete.
Is that free?
Yeah.
Is that free? Quick Start?
Yeah.
Well, I was
It's
happy to
still
pay
like
for it.
100 pages.
I was
It's
totally happy
huge.
to pay for it.
And
Have you
we
looked
ran
at the
that.
I backed it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's laid out. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it really is. It's beautiful.
It's laid out well and readable.
But we actually did 2 sessions, and this is 2 sessions where people in the group are by large part game designers, including Greg Christopher, who's here at the con, Tim Short, Rob Conley, and there was critiquing, but it wasn't like critiquing to tear it apart. It was critiquing of, wow, I'd like to steal this from my own
Right.
system.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, this was really well done. Or if there was an issue, maybe I would have done it a little bit differently, but I can see why it was done this way.
Well, she clearly put a lot of thought.
Oh my God!
It's
So that's
I think you said polished. It's very polished. It's
Yeah.
very well honed. I don't know the
Yeah.
word I'm looking
Yeah.
for.
Chris.
Yeah.
Frank, Liz, hello.
Chris. It's like playing a modified version of 5e, but with an intensely OSR feel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like 5e didn't suck. Yeah.
right. Okay.
How do you really feel about it?
See, like I describe it to me. It's like getting you have a classic car body from the 50s, but the engine inside is like a 2022 Mustang engine or something like that. It plays well, and to me, a sign of a good game is I don't have to keep going back and referring to the rules constantly.
Yeah.
That's one of those games where you don't have to complete. And if you go, hey, GM's choice, I'm gonna make a ruling. Unlike certain more recent rule sets, it doesn't break down.
Right. Well, it says one of the design ethos. What's the plural of ethos? I don't know. Is to keep moving. It says right in the rules. Keep moving.
Yeah.
Keep moving. So yeah, don't get bogged down in the rules.
Which is a huge thing, especially at conventions.
Right.
All right. But by the way, your quote is one of their favorites. It's like 5e didn't suck. There you go, Ty.
My pleasure.
It's as if 5e was it.
Yeah, I have my hand on the pulse of the zeitgeist.
Yes, yes.
Especially in
Yes, you
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I love my people here.
yeah.
I love my people.
Let my people go.
I played a lot of 5e only because they were looking for DMs at my friendly local game store. I'm a big believer in supporting the friendly local game store. So I was running 5e because that was their
That's what
default.
they played.
Yeah, so I ran a lot of 5e. And I will say, whether 5e is a good system or not, there's a lot to critique on it. The hobby D&D boomed during 5e, but there's a lot of reasons.
There's no question it was better than 4E. But that's
Well,
an awful low bar.
Yeah.
It's very low bar.
That 4e is the only version of D&D I've never played. I've read through it.
Neither have
I've
I.
watched live streams.
Same here.
The only thing redeemable about 4E is, I think, the second GM's guide. If I recall correct, it's been years since I've looked at it. I never played it. But I remember reading it going, oh, there's stuff in here I can apply to almost any RPG,
Yeah.
including ones that work.
Including ones that, well, 4E, I see what they tried to do. I disagree with the decision, but I understand what they're trying to do.
Tabletop video.
They wanted it to be like, because there's abilities in there. There's like cooldowns and resets, and the abilities are like MMO RPG.
Yeah.
And they're like 8 million people are playing World of Warcraft. Let's get them into D&D, but they're fundamentally different experiences.
Well,
right?
remember,
Gene, show me a code.
4E was the world of Gleemax. They were pushing Gleemax. Gleemax was, we're going to kill Dungeon and Dragon magazine in print. We're going to make it digital, and it's going to be part of a digital initiative. And that's when they were working on their VTT.
Right.
And we all know what happened with the VTT. When a murder-suicide wiped your VTT off the board, that's what happened.
Well, they
That is a bit off.
Yeah, that was actually more awkward than the fact that the dice, the animated dice graphics that they used to pitch the game were cribbed from Fantasy Grounds, frame by frame.
Ouch. So the thing is, like, I think it's really more Hasbro, but let's say WotC, because WotC's the corporation. They want to get to recurring subscriptions on D&D so bad, because that's
Well,
what
I mean, I've got a long list of things that I want that I'm not going to get.
it's not a good fit for the hobby, but they want it so
matter how much I
bad.
Play right there with the purple bag.
An A64 gunship is not going to show
Right.
up at my house.
But they want it. See what happens? But you get all
I want
these,
that more than I want that gunship.
but you get all these executives coming in
Yeah.
that have no clue, never touched a dice, and they're just like, look, everybody, the business model of today is recurring revenues.
We come from
So-
Microsoft. We come from Amazon, and we know
They want them. They're
subscription.
just like, we got to have recurring revenues.
Which, by the way, we're going to throw this in. Zach Glazer is our basically our supporter for all the live streams.
Yep.
So thank you to Zach, and thank you to all our members that support this channel.
I bought 4th edition. I bought the books right when they
Right.
came out.
So did I.
And I'm like that episode of The Simpsons where Bart Simpson is watching a schoolhouse rock thing and he just goes, "What the hell is this?" Laura Rita says, "What the hell is this?" And Tori goes, "Honey, language." Because our daughters were
Right there.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, I said, "Sorry, honey, I'm reading."
I don't understand how everything can be the same for every class. They're the same thing with words changed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How does a magic user fight like a fighter?
4th edition, yes, 5th edition was superior.
Yes.
But
My judgment on 5th edition is any game where if I go to play at a convention and they hand me a 6th level character, monk. By the way, this was ShireCon, and we were playing it's the Peanuts versus Cthulhu. Great
Peanuts.
Peanuts.
Like literally Charlie Brown.
Yes, Charlie Brown. I was
Okay.
I was Snoopy. I was Snoopy. I was Snoopy the monk.
fly your doghouse?
I had my doghouse, but I had
Doghouse of Holding.
8 pages of character information from whatever these programs are that they use, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, it's gonna take me half the session to absorb what I can do. Closed it. I know that I'm a monk. I'll work from there, and so
I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna kick him in the face.
yeah.
By the way, I love that. I love monks. I'm a big
I cornered Matt Finch and I said, I'm glad you finally stepped back into the light on Osric and put monks in there.
Yeah.
I reamed him out
Really?
when I first met him because
there was no monks in Osric?
Osric didn't have monks. Well, came the story. And I'm like, dude, it was the
Monks are- I love
1970s. Monks-
Well, I didn't see psionics in there, and I'm thankful.
Okay, well, that I can live with.
What did you say?
I said I didn't see psionics in there either, and I'm thankful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's unkind.
Well,
to compare
psionics was
monks to
always
psionics.
a edge rule.
And did they put the dreaded first edition Bard in there?
I don't remember. I have Oscar.
I don't remember the bard rules being
I can go look.
No, they don't have the extended bard. I don't think they have any
Did
bard.
they have the
In
did they have
Austria?
the
I'll go
weapons,
look real quick.
weapons versus armor
But
I think I saw that.
chart? Was it in there? I can't remember.
I mean,
Speaking of things that nobody ever used.
like the bard class I played in first edition was the one from issue 56,
right,
Best of
there
the
was actually a bard
right,
class
Best of the
and not some
Dragon
weird-
3. I had that was a good bard. You
Yeah,
know,
well, with AD&D, what you had to be a D4.
no, you had to be a if I recall the numbers right,
Yeah.
you had to be a fighter and reach level 4 through 6. Wasn't 7 because that's where you got multiple attacks. Then you had to change to a
The
thief.
level shall be 4.
Yeah. Then you had to be a thief. You had to be a thief and stop somewhere between level 5 and 7. They don't quite spell it out, I don't think, but it had to be one level later than your fighter level. Then you became a bard, which was part of the druid. But if you took your fighter to 6th level, your thief to 7th level, you could get like 23 hit dice because your bard got another 10d6. So the number of hit dice a bard could potentially have
Yeah.
and hit points was very
I never
wackadoo.
allowed in my campaign. So I
The one that
just-
drives me crazy, I don't know if it's first or second edition, is weapon speed.
That was,
God, I
first
hate
edition. That was first
God, I
edition.
hate
What are we talking about?
I shouldn't use it.
Yeah, when we did live streams for Thanko's Hammer, Brian, Mr. 2E, it's like, okay, what's your weapon speed? What? You're going to use that? No, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
weapons.
You know, first edition RuneQuest did strike rates, and they worked. It was a weapon speed system that actually worked pretty well, but needless for a dungeon game. I mean, I want to get in and bash stuff. I want to agonize over there.
Well, with the weapon speed, it's like, so you're telling
Actually, my
me,
dagger is faster than your 200 sword.
yeah, and that's the whole thing. Like, isn't it like, all right, weapon speed only comes into play if there's a tie on initiative. When you tie the initiative, then the weapon speed counts down, and a dagger can strike 4 times before your two-handed sword can. But you're telling me but then otherwise,
Otherwise, yeah.
then why are we worrying about it?
You know, there's a lot of stuff in AD&D that I figured that daggers. Let's just throw it in.
I do not doubt it.
You know, I want this to be the ultimate do-all, be-all game, and for its time, and nothing was more.
I agree with you. When I'm running AD&D, it's usually 1E with 2E overlaid a bit, or 2E with some stuff taken out for 1E.
I always thought I ran 2E when it came out. I thought it was a fine, successor.
I don't know.
Well, first thing,
No, until the splat book
Oh, is
started
it?
multiplying.
Well, I kinda like some of it.
Uh,
the first thing I do is throw out proficiencies.
Yeah.
I hate proficiencies. They're too much bookkeeping.
I do too. Interesting. Remember the class-based system?
Yeah.
Right.
It is skill-based system. It is skill-based system.
You can't really do
Trying
both.
to blend those two things together.
And like the 5th edition plethora of skills and things. And it's like when they start talking builds, then I kind of tune out.
Well, if
And I
I play
push-
champions, I'll play champions.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
That's class-based systems. You do that. I'm not a class-based purist when I play class-based. The class is.
Well, you remember you came on-
It's the skills.
I did, well, there was one that
I want to hear about.
I don't know
Well,
if
you know,
came on
I
that show,
I have a love-hate relationship in class.
to talk about your RPG.
And I got my grandson, who was Mr. 5e, but he'll try. I started him in OSR, but he loves 5e. I got him to play Hyperborea, and he loves it.
Yeah.
I said, because one, you don't have to deal with demi-humans,
You have quite the
and
amount.
two, all the classes are front-loaded with the skills pertinent to those classes, and there's 26 classes.
Yeah.
If you don't-
Jeff threaded the needle.
Yeah.
He did such a good job on that.
But I just, my theory on that was always Your attributes, I'll be honest with you, that's your skill system in a class-based system. If you want to, if you could, we'll make an IQ roll or a dex roll as the DM.
Right.
And see if you make it.
But actually give a system for that, which they didn't do in 1E. Like 1E, we all jury rigged it. Some guy would be like, yeah, roll. It wasn't in the core. It was thrown into one of the adventures, but it might have been the adventure begins N1 or something like that.
See, I was playing Fantasy Trip all along, which is a war game. So it's very natural for me just to go roll a d20 and roll your attributes.
Right.
And that's how I filled in the gap. If you need to, and a lot of times I'm like, would a fighter know how to make a campfire? I think so.
Right.
If it was equivalent to, say, driving a car or reading a book in 1980 America, then you know how to do it.
I played a 2-year 5e game with my Monday group because Joyce, but I managed to play. I love playing something like a barbarian. Barbarians are fun in 5e, but when they did, the GM said, "Okay, make a dex roll," and I roll my dex. Okay, I rolled whatever. I made it. No, you didn't. Why? Because the target number is. Excuse me, I've got a stat here. I roll under my stat, and that's how I make
I
it.
despise the target number.
Oh,
system.
God, yes.
And that's third edition on. I despise it because
You talking about the difficulty check? The DC?
Yeah,
Okay.
DC.
now there are games I play that have those. Tunnels and Trolls has that. Tunnels and Trolls actually invented target checks. Like
Right.
they call them saving throws.
Well,
Right.
See,
Shadowdark has
this is why I have.
But yeah, if you've got the problem with those checks are, I don't think a 13 and a 13 stat should be identical. Right?
Okay.
Because then why not just express them with the modifiers?
Yeah.
Well, that's what they're
there
getting
was a
to.
game that did.
Yeah.
A game early in the OSR that
No, I don't think the OSR. I didn't like Mutants and Masterminds. One of those. Oh, True 20. But didn't that bleed in? Yeah, True 20 from Green Ronin.
and they just express the attributes as -3. or
Yes.
+3.
So that was the attribute. There was not.
Well,
Because the
actually
attribute
that
was your
is the
modifier.
attribute.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The attribute was the
But I
modifier. Because
kinda-
you're not rolling against your stat. Yeah.
I
Okay,
kind of
that makes
resented.
sense.
I kind of resented the fact that they were trying to get rid of the stat. The
Yeah,
2-3
well,
day each.
yeah. I mean, one of the things I do like about AD&D is that all those crunchy charts, the attributes do matter.
Yes,
Right.
They matter
they
a
do.
lot, and I don't like. I never cared for the trend of making attributes less important.
Yeah.
And to be fair, that started in BX.
And my love-hate relationship with skills is I don't want them to go back in another edition to tack on a skill system like proficiencies
Right.
and things
No,
like
I don't
that. To me, if it's baked into the system, okay. The only one that I found for D&D that I really like is the Rules Cyclopedia skill system because it's just these skills.
You have them or you don't.
Yeah, you have them.
Yeah.
You can get them or you don't. Have them or you don't. You can make them better, but the classes and the stats still matter
The Cyclopedia
Because-
is probably the coolest version.
because they match up. Yes,
Well, it
absolutely.
wasn't first edition though, was it? It was.
it was.
I thought it was basic. I thought it was
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep.
It wasn't AD&D.
Yeah, it was
But it
basic.
was Aaron Austin that did it. And Austin died
Too early.
way too early.
Yeah.
He was a very, very talented game designer.
Yes, he was.
And well, he was. In some ways, a lot of stuff that Kelsey does is kind of like Aaron was that way. Aaron, he understood. He was a gamer, and he wrote good systems for gamers to play with.
Yeah.
I mean,
He took the Beckme boxes that Frank Menzer did and made it into something
Yes, that's what I
wonderful.
thought. I thought.
Right.
Well, see, I always thought
it's like Dungeons and Dragons 1.5.
Well,
Maybe
so
you could say. I mean, that's.
let me clarify. I always thought, because I've never owned the Real Cyclopedia or played it, I always thought it was just a collection of decks.
Not quite. It went beyond. It cleaned it up.
He went clean, yeah, and he explicitly had attribute roles.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize that. I always thought it was just
It was
No.
a complete re-engineering of the Beckman.
Yeah,
interesting.
and it works.
Did he go all the way up to the Immortals?
Way the heck on up there.
Now, if you want a copy over there at Etten Games, they have a pristine copy for $200. But He also has a kind of a beat up copy for 40.
Okay.
So
Go for the
and it
beater.
still works. It's
And you
the
can buy it
pages
on
are still
drive-thru as well.
yeah, drive through. They POD it.
didn't-
I never realized that it was an updated.
It's an update. It's
It's an update, and also, unlike getting the original box sets where you like piecing together everything,
Right. You end up with
it's all
basic expert, not
Companion-
companion, masters,
Masters and Immortals. The only thing it doesn't have in there, it's got a little bit of the Immortals,
But not a
they
lot.
left most of it out, just enough to get you up to speed. Then they came out with Bach Wrath of the Immortals, which was supposed to take care of that, but nobody cared.
Right.
I didn't care, because
Well,
this
nobody
is the
played
game.
Immortals campaign.
I mean,
well, if you played Immortals campaigns, you started as an Immortal.
Right.
You didn't bring your character through it.
I mean, I never had a
Straight
single
up.
book
No.
before from them
You'd still
that
be
had all the
playing.
character creation in it, every monster in it, all the treasures in it. Just here, this is my Desert Island book,
Right.
right
Yep.
here.
Yeah. You know what? That's a good way to say it.
Yes.
If you had one D&D book, that would be the one. It's
Yeah.
that good.
Rules like that.
It really is. Yeah.
Somebody
it's awesome.
quoted David Arneson saying, "I will give up my rule cyclopedia after you take it out of my cold dead hands."
It almost feels like it was the first retro clone before retro clones were a thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Could be.
I mean, it was an official retro clone,
Right.
but
Austin was a very, very talented designer in his own right.
Yes.
He was involved with Car Wars. He was involved in a lot of Steve
Oh,
Jackson games.
he did amazing champion stuff.
And champions.
with-
All right.
oh my God.
So the Zatron does have a good point. There's one thing that the Rules Cyclopedia did that it should almost be cursed at if you played a thief, because they nerfed the thief skills because of the expansion of the thief skills from levels 1 through
Yeah, you went
12.
to 30.
You went from 1 to 36, so they extended the chart
They spent.
by slowing the advancement
They
down.
expanded
No, that's a
that
fair point. And I never played thieves, and they weren't hugely
No.
important in my campaign, so that's probably why I never noticed that.
I saw a lot of kids that, you introduced them to the OSR from 5e. It's like, oh no, why? Racist class. What's an elf? What's a dwarf as a class? I don't understand. I don't want to play
the
this
Rules
thing.
Encyclopedia keep the races class.
Yep.
Yes, they did.
They did.
They did.
They
well,
did.
that was really what that was. That's how you multi-class thing, basically.
Pretty much.
An elf is basically a fighter magic user.
Yep.
Yeah, and a very powerful fighter magic user.
And then what would a dwarf be considered?
I mean, the
just
downside
a
of being
tough
an
fighter.
elf
Just
was
a dwarf.
the downside of being an elf. It took you forever to advance. But what you get at the beginning is like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
at
at second level now after
If
5 years.
I'm running a short-term campaign,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Fantasy Trip had that. You could run. There were certain, not elves, but there were certain races that were overpowered, and so they earned half experience at half the rate.
And they actually have a pretty good version of the monk in there with the mystic.
Well, no edition is going to be perfect, and the
No,
thief
not
stuff,
at all.
that's a relatively easy fix if you don't like that. But just from a sheer game design standpoint, Austin was independently a very talented designer, and they apparently just said, "Go do it." And
I mean, he wrote one or two of the best gazetteers in the series.
well, that's right. He did the Gazetteers.
Yeah, and they were very well.
He was I met him a few times, just old Dallas Con. Way back when.
Yeah.
And nice guy. He was a big, heavy-set guy. And
It's like I always always wanted to sign my encyclopedia,
yeah.
but I got Frank to do it, so Frank will sign anything. Frank Minster will sign anything. He says, "I want my signature to be." By the time I will sign, so he said, "I will sign anything because by the time I die, I want my signature to be worth nothing."
Well, that's not curmudgeonly at all.
No, not at all.
No.
What are you talking to Tim Kask again?
Painfully honest.
Yeah. Hey, great stuff. I mean, you guys are getting me all fired up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's keep it going.
I didn't bring my RC, damn it.
RC.
No,
With the RC Cola?
I didn't bring my Hyperborea either. That was my second choice.
Now there's a game I haven't played that is also like Shadow Art. Everybody universally praises Hyperborea.
It's based on one.
Swords and sorcery game. When you say
I want to play it. I can never get
pulp, swords and sorcery.
Pulp Fantasy.
no matter how hard I try, I can never get. Is it Talanian? Jeffrey Talanian? I can
Yep.
never get in his games here, and I try.
I know.
Oh,
But they're
Yeah.
great. I've been once. I got in once.
Yeah.
That 5 years ago.
So what is it about Hyperborea? Everyone
Well,
says
first of all,
universally
it's
love it.
based on 1E.
Okay.
That makes it an advantage right there. He's basically broken down. He's given the whole game like a Howard type flavor.
Yeah. There
First
are
of
no
all,
elves or dwarves.
it's all races of men, and that's mainly for flavor. They give you, this is the part I love, they give you 26 classes.
Oh wow.
And you want skills, you're used to skills. Every class has the skills front loaded in there for 12 levels that I have yet to see somebody like my grandson or anybody else play Hyperborea and not be satisfied. You know, the guys will go, well, I got this build of 5th edition, that kind of thing. And they play it, they love it. They love it.
And
If you don't find something in there, you're not looking.
But these 26 classes are all like your potential multi-classes
Yeah.
designed as a
Yeah.
standalone class. So
I mean,
So basically, they're prepackaged builds.
yeah,
yes, and it works. It works great. I've got Gage loves a warlock because the warlock is basically a fighter magic user, but he gets to choose among 3 different spell lists: druids, magic users, and I think monks. And you know,
Monks have spell list.
it's music. Oh, sorry, clerics. And clerics, and he loves it. He absolutely loves it. There was another example that I can't think of right now, but I think you get the idea.
Yeah, no, it sounds cool.
That's an awesome
Everybody universally praises it. So,
It is.
Is it like brutal? Is it
It can be.
grimdark? Is it what is like?
Let me tell you.
Is it Conan?
it's
Yes.
it's Conan.
Yeah,
It's Conan.
His world is
It's all those pulp fantasy authors.
Yeah.
Lovecraft, Conan, who's that other guy? I can't remember. Fethard.
Oh, you're talking about Fritz Leiber.
Yeah.
Prince Liber in there, you know, all those kind of guys. That's the flavor of the whole thing, and it's
I
great.
keep hearing good things about it.
Yeah,
It's really good.
He does stuff like in the stats. You know how you have all the stats broken down in 1st edition? He takes all the physical stats and gives you a test of strength, a test of dex, a test of con, or mighty test of strength, dex, and
But you're
con.
rolling against your attributes.
You're rolling a percentage against a target, but it gives you those. I've had so many players have these great scenes of like Conan killing the giant snake and that kind of thing, doing heroic.
I want to do a
barbarian
minor test of strength.
Exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah, I hear.
Yeah,
He universal praise.
He integrates the campaign world into the
he does.
Right.
He does.
very
I like
smoothly.
it so much a while ago. I said, this is going to be my D&D. I'll just add demi-humans if I want to play D&D.
Yeah.
Put it in my
It's
world.
easy enough.
It worked.
I mean, there's enough variety with the human races. You've got analogs of all that.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
remind me, I don't think do the human races have ability adjustments.
Not really. It's mostly for role-playing and
Yeah,
flavor.
there was a game. The Stormbringer role-playing game.
I remember
Oh, I remember
that.
Stormbringer.
First edition. You had
Ken.
actual attribute adjustments depending on your human race.
Ken
They
St.
didn't have-
Andre, yes.
Yeah. That might be considered a tad
A bit.
problematic
But,
today.
you know, some people say, oh, you can't do anything with different races. Well, yeah, you got so much more to play with. What do you need? And they've got these beautiful, the Warriors got wonderful combat maneuvers.
I died in the first second of combat.
I'm sorry.
See, I kinda love
Gladiatorial. So sit
Oh,
around
okay.
for 2 hours waiting for my turn. Thanks. It's been fun.
You know, I don't know why.
The
They,
guy's like, I'm so sorry.
I don't know why they
I
play
was like,
that
dude,
game when
don't
they
be
could
sorry.
just
I
play
wouldn't be sorry
melee.
if I did it to you.
What game did you play?
It was a gladiatorial.
Avalon Hills Gladiators.
This is Christopher Staghill, folks.
Also known as Herr Whiskey Meister.
The Whiskey Meister.
Whiskey Meister, yeah.
They did the whiskey tasting this year already.
Yeah, we did. Last
He
night.
is our host. He is our host.
He's the host with the most.
Yep. I heard you had some maple syrup in there.
No, but there was a apple pie cinnamon whiskey that actually, and if he didn't say it, it wouldn't have come to me. But when Kitchen said, "Yeah, I tasted the maple syrup," and it's like,
Yeah, I tasted the maple. Yeah.
but I knew what it was,
Right.
And so I was like, I don't taste
I
it.
labeled that the IHOP. The IHOP whiskey. Because it tasted like you just poured it straight on pancakes.
But and it actually had a little viscosity to it, a little thicker.
The
Little.
bonus one was a brown sugar pecan. That's a bottle of the room. Do you want me to go get it?
No. I just want to be sure I got the name so I can get it. I'm going to get it to my wife.
Do I have your? Well, you probably don't want me.
You can shoot it.
Oh yeah.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, we're just talking here and there about stuff.
No, there was only one.
Okay.
Yeah, there was one that was like a very light fireball, a hint of cinnamon but without the sweet. That was number one. Had a hint of cinnamon without the sweet. Yeah, we got
Now,
a.
one I labeled the Waffle House whiskey, but the
Waffle House.
other it had a sweet taste.
When you
to
say
it.
Waffle House, I just remember.
Yeah.
I love some Waffle
Oh, I do
House.
too. You know, Zach Glazer, one of the concessions to our friendship that he's often willing to make
Is going to
he will
Waffle
go to
House.
Waffle House.
Dude, the day I
And
took,
being a foodie like he
I-
is, I
I'm-
know what a
I
foodie
know
that is.
he's
I
not
took
taking
my
pictures
son
when he is.
right there at the Waffle House for the first time. It was like a crowd. He bellied up to the bar and he just watched him cook that southern hibachi. And I love Waffle House. I used to have Waffle House on the speed. I'm not lying. Back in the 90s, me and a buddy, we both worked from home, which was rare back in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
But it'd be like 11 o'clock. We'd go to the house. So we went there so often, it was like norm. We'd walk in and they'd start dropping our food because they knew what we
One of the
wanted.
greatest injustices that I have to contend with in my life is there is no Waffle House in Tyler.
What?
No, there's no Waffle House in Smith County. There's one in neighboring Gregg County and Longview.
Dude, we have like Waffle Houses piled on top of
It
Waffle
drives
Houses.
me insane. There's no.
I thought everywhere south.
Can you run a campaign in Waffle's House? That would be the best of both
What,
worlds.
campaign in Waffle House?
Yeah,
I
D&D.
would.
Well, I've got a Call of Cthulhu adventure out there called the Waffle House of Doom. It takes place in a Waffle House.
I would like to say I have eaten in Waffle. Probably about 7.3% of my entire waking hours have been spent in a Waffle House. I've never seen violence break out in a Waffle
I never have.
Neither have I.
But I like to hope that it could.
Oh, I'm sure it
You
could.
know,
You get more
I've
fight.
had a waiter take his artificial eye out and display it to me. That's
Oh,
not-
that's
wow.
literally the most Waffle House thing you can have.
Yeah,
Well,
I've seen more fights
Yeah.
at Walmart.
Yeah, right? And then
Wow.
one time I rolled into Waffle House, and then it was like, there was nobody out there. And after about 5 minutes, it was like a young cook and a young waitress. And they came hustling and buffling and puffing and rearranging their clothes. I felt bad for interrupting them. I was like, you guys finish. I don't care. I just want to
Just clean beforehand.
yeah, just clean up. I mean, the chick was cute. I didn't blame the cook. But I know.
No, it's an outrage. It's an absolute
Now
outrage.
serving
Texas
number
has no-
69.
Pretty much.
Now
I moved here in
serving.
1999 from California. Never had a Waffle House.
In California?
Yeah, there's no Waffle Houses in California.
Well, yet another reason to leave California.
I'm
Yeah.
in New York, no Waffle House.
But-
Did they have
IHOP.
Huddle House?
I got to
And
think
what?
New
Did they have
York's got
Huddle
some
House?
things like
Nope.
Waffle
Huddle House
We have
is a
IHOP.
Waffle House competitor.
Oh, that's
Y'all
the one
gotta
you
have,
find in the truck
seedy
stop.
diners,
Huddle
Yeah.
houses.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen
but they're not
it
part of a
there.
chain. They're
Well,
just
but did you have
They're
greasy
just-
spoon diners?
they're
in
just seedy
California?
diners.
Yeah.
Okay, that's basically.
I mean, Mom and Pop Greasy Spoons, they were all over.
Did you know they have for severe weather they have a Waffle House index?
Yeah, FEMA.
The chances of only Waffle House still being open, and if Waffle House shuts down,
it's
it's done.
It's
Just
like the
clear out.
nuclear holocaust.
They actually, all joking aside, they have a response team that'll go into like hurricane or and they'll set up and feed people. It's like a convoy of hope for
Like
nothing.
Burfield, we used to volunteer for those.
Yeah.
Like this, because we had all the combo suites.
Yeah.
I was surprised when
Gotcha.
I was surprised first time I went to Waffle
No,
House
you
because
ham radio?
anytime I got a
Well, we
waffle
did
like at
Egypt radio.
IHOP,
So when
Come
you
down
say,
to
when you
or
say
a long con show.
I was a Fort Air controller
okay.
in the Air Force.
Yeah. I was down radio.
Okay.
oh, I mean, we got
Yeah.
waffle.
So-
I mean,
I got a lot
we
of
got
respect
waffle
for
House.
Ford Air Control.
Yeah, we had the, we had our HF.
What got me
and,
was
Air Force.
No,
every
you
other
had
place
Shepherd?
I go get a waffle is
Were
like
you at Shepherd?
IHOP
Because I
or
see you're on a
Denny's,
walk.
and they're always
Were
the
you at
big
Shepherd
shot
on your
of
stuff on?
No,
Bavarian waffle, whatever the hell they call it,
Normally,
Bavarian waffle.
normally.
Waffle House is the only restaurant that will make waffles like my
But there
mom
are
would
exceptions.
in the regular waffle iron,
We have
and they
some
weren't
different
those thick
training
things. They were like, you know,
Yeah.
the ones you
I'm
get
there
for
because
breakfast.
I teach
I love them. It's like
Oddly enough,
egg.
I don't know.
So, yeah, I was down radio.
I love
Did the
waffles.
Ford Air Control put people up seats for your text screens?
Always have some egg.
Time ago.
Yeah, I went through
Like
Biloxi.
the very first few classes.
Yeah.
And then we moved to Herbert Field and maybe just 5 or 6
Oh,
years.
bless you.
Probably been longer than that. I don't know
So,
exactly when. Maybe
As is normal at a
we
con,
got moved to San
Mul-
Antonio.
multiple conversations going on in tangents.
Okay.
Ain't it great?
No, this is con
This is the
atmosphere.
con. Yeah, this is the con.
This is and that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, the Ford Air
People are
Control
walking
was
by,
outdoor.
giving us like the eye of, am I going to be on screen? No, you're on the other side. You're not. Don't worry about it.
Then you get those wise asses who lean over.
They were comparing
Well, we like the wise asses. They're fun.
It's like
They make the most of the most.
you just have extra ways of getting the job. They used to go around.
Oh, who are you waving down?
But they go around telling everybody.
Oh, you-
we do cash.
He's trying to grab Matt
Come here.
Finch.
No,
I
come
mean,
on,
some guys
live
are
stream.
like that, but honestly,
Matt,
the level-
Matt.
Matt's gonna go to sleep.
Outside of how to work the radios, which you probably know how to do.
Matt.
Literally spend 10 seconds to do it to their
We're trying to get Matt Finch on here. He's just staggering all over the place.
Well, Matt's been busy all week.
That's true.
We should ask him about Monster.
I was making stuff right with the universe by including those.
Bless you, my son.
You still got a Mythos Tower to go, don't you? Tomorrow. Okay. I'll try and shove Gage over there.
You do look beat.
Yeah.
It's not a bad beating, but it's yes.
Thank goodness that's overtime.
I know.
It's like a beating with a rubber hose and not a wooden.
You look like somebody beat you with a DM screen. Get out of here.
You seen that over-engineered DM screen that Bad Mike has got? You could kill somebody.
Is it customized? Is it
It's wood and it's got.
All right. And time out. I've got 2 DM screens that I will never take to North Texas because it will take half my luggage. One would probably get stopped by security.
Yeah, because
Okay. Well, no, one is wooden, and it looks great. The other is leather with metal plates.
I got them.
Yes. I had that shipped to me because there was no way that was going to get through the TSA.
here to North Texas.
No, I found I got it here,
Yeah,
and
there
they
was
took an order.
a vendor last year.
So I'll bring that to local cons.
I'm the exact opposite. I bought like 3 or 4 of those vinyl DM screens.
I've been sitting there
Yep.
forever. You want to jump in?
The world's greatest GM screen.
Have you ever, you're familiar with Hackmaster?
Yes.
I have nothing of Hackmaster except the DM screen, which is a monster.
It is.
I mean,
Panels and sub panels.
yeah.
Thing of beauty.
It's even got a pizza topping table on it.
So I thought for
But
years.
there's a player version as well.
Oh my God.
I thought for years that the Hackman. I knew they published a book. I thought it was like a joke. You're like you can really play it. Like, I didn't realize it was a playable.
I used to
system.
volunteer for the company.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Those guys used to be good friends. But, so what happened was, well, one, they were looking at, was it White Wolf Publishing? I could be wrong on that. they were looking at the Hackmaster was just a generic game that they played in Knights of Dinner.
Right, that's
Right.
the thing they play. Right.
And someone was looking at making up a rule set for them. It would have been like any other free thing out there. Well, so Jelly Blackburn was doing Knights of the Dinner Table, and he got to issue number 4. He had already been doing stuff in Dragon for a long
Right,
time.
and Shadows before that.
And the publisher really screwed the pooch on the number 4. I mean, it was almost like they substituted fonts with wingdings level of bad. And they were just like, well, sucks to be you. We already printed it. He went to Dave, basically, he joined forces with David Kenzer to get and got the money to reprint number 4. And then,
Right.
so that went from
So that's how it
his
became Kinzer.
indirect, yeah, that's how Kenzer got involved. During this whole time, we've got the transition from what we always did the coast, got all this magic money, buying TSR, basically, and then republishing that Dragon Magazine archive.
I still have the original disc on
I
that.
finally got the disc. Okay, well, the thing was with that is they had only the first printing rights for all the KODT stuff in there.
That's right.
And David Kenzer's not just a lawyer, he's an intellectual property lawyer, and was basically able to go, listen, this is a no-brainer case. You guys are so wrong. I'm sure he said it in a nice,
Right.
Well,
lawyer way.
statutory penalty for violation is 150,000. Yeah.
So basically, they just, without looking at what they have,
They had him by the balls. And he's just like, anybody worth a damn that you can even hire, I know on a first name basis. So they basically settled out of court, and they got the rights to first and second edition rules to do with what they want, basically, to a certain extent. They had, there were some stipulations.
so that's how
had
they
to
were
do.
able to get.
But it had to be parody or
Some
lose
of it they had
right.
to have a certain level of parody.
But the thing was, the great thing was like, oh yeah, there's kicker hit points. But when you removed all that,
wasn't a parody,
but
really.
when you removed that shit, you were back to the original rules.
Yeah, but see, we normally kept. You really wanted to keep the kicker because of the way the other rules you could take and stuff out of it, but the kicker was important because you could do some massive damage.
Right.
And with the threshold of pain checks, you needed that sponge. But like, they had a Gummy Fiend monster. It was on the back cover of one of the Hackopedias. No one used it. But there were times we did have actual comedic games.
Right.
Normally at Origins, they were to be a GM only game, and it was normally supposed to be comedic. Right, but we did, like the average person, we didn't know how long they had the license for it. And towards the end of it, I know that Wizards of the Coast are starting to do this. I don't.
Really?
Yeah, you know how they're doing the book a month club. Well, Kenzer Company did have. Yeah, they had a really nice arms and equipment guide, and I guess Watsy kept on kicking it back, delaying it months and months. So they can get their own book out. Right. And I've seen now Kenzer Company finally just said, we're not spending another dime on this. We're done. They had some things that needed to be fixed. They sent it to the printer. It's probably the only thing I've seen of theirs that wasn't real good. It's not bad, don't get me wrong, but there were some errors that were easily avoidable.
Did
and then compared it to the
yeah,
it did, but it was
OGL pretty well ended Hackmasters.
I think
They only had the
meant-
rights for so many years.
What I meant
Oh,
was,
did they not still publish it?
when the OGL came out, Hackmasters
so
licensing and all that
that-
became irrelevant.
There's a new
right. But then it came out with like Hackmaster 5th edition.
But see, jokingly, we call it
Fourth.
Hackmaster 4th edition.
Right.
Because it was the 4th edition of Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
Before 4th edition.
I actually just sold. I don't know Jolly at all. It sounds like you get it. I actually just sold them because they have the Parting Shots comics in the back of 19. I actually just sold them like 4 comics. Extreme easiest.
Oh yeah,
I just emailed him and said I'll take them for $25 each and I'll start printing them. Like, that was super easy. Yeah. So.
They had to sign a couple little contracts.
That was super easy, like easiest whatever out there. So if people are looking to do some comics with and make some quick money, you might check out Knights of Dinner.
They're always looking for submissions for articles and stuff too.
Yeah. So you don't. You said you don't really have much to do with them anymore.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say on something that's being recorded. It has nothing to do with it.
No, I got it.
Maybe other than this.
Yeah.
If you wanted to mute it, I'd tell you.
Well, we're gonna wrap it up shortly anyway, probably.
Yeah.
But it just comes to me looking like a bitter asshole anyway. So.
And that's
Yeah,
what
but-
North
but we
and that's
like
what North
that.
Texas is all about.
Bitter assholes.
We like that about you.
So folks, again, this is North Texas 2025. We gave you a live stream. We really sucked on Wednesday. Internet connection issues. Don't kill
And
the
this is
message.
glorious.
This has been glorious. Yesterday was the whiskey tasting. If you haven't seen the whiskey tasting, you will hear some great quotes from Ty Beard.
Oh, did y'all stream it?
Oh yeah. And actually, it was probably the cleanest stream of the whiskey tasting we've ever had. We had a
Did you stream last year? I heard there was like German whiskey.
2 years ago. 2 years ago. It's up there.
And I'm still sorry. Jesus.
Those
I'm not concerned. I thought it
they're
was
all up there. We've
I
been
just thought it was interesting.
we've been streaming them every year since we started doing official tasting.
It was memorable.
It was yes,
Well,
definitely.
was
People are still talking about it. But yesterday was the best setup. Our second camera got the whole line of our guests that were doing the tasting. This is your third live stream, and then tomorrow, Rachel and I will probably do a Gamer's Health. I suspect we will do. That should
More
be
to come.
that should be the last
Nice.
live stream from here. Sunday, you'll get a video about North Texas. I may do a walkthrough. We'll see. If I do, I'll do that tomorrow. Shout out to my GMs that I've had so far. David P. We call you David P. because I've known you for like 15 years, and you have no consonants. Sorry, no vowels, no consonants in your name. So you're just David P. I always have. The group had David P. and David B. But David B. we can pronounce his last name. David P. But it was a great game of Shadow Dark. And today, Greg Gillespie, I got to kill it. I was a player, one of the three that survived. It would have been four, but I had to kill a guy who had a rock rub. I tried to save him.
Dousing him in flaming oil.
No, hitting him with a flaming lamp.
Oh, right, yeah,
It wasn't dousing. That would have not been dramatic enough.
right,
I had to throw the lamp from like a foot away
right.
because
I
that
definitely
gave,
see the difference.
I needed the dexterity bonus.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm a min-maxer, but you
Can't
gotta,
make an omelet.
you gotta.
You know,
You'll probably see me wearing the same shirt Glen's wearing today, tomorrow.
Is it going to be a little dirty and stinky?
No, well, same design, different shirt.
Same design.
We gotta be careful.
I'm pushing my shirts with my artwork on it, folks, because there it is.
Oh, hold on a sec. Hold on.
You got to make a living.
Grognard Studios.
after all, we are not communists.
That's right.
There you go.
We love capitalism.
Yeah.
Capitalism, capital K. I mean, C. I can't.
Watch that.
Hey, you can't say it on D-Day.
Yeah,
Folks.
happy D-Day.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I'll have some of these in the auction.
Some of your business cards?
No, one of my T-shirts and a coffee cup.
Oh, okay. Folks, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. Roll them well. Thank you again to all the subscribers, all the members, all the viewers. You all are awesome. And we'll go back to our regular programming. Well, probably not even next week because I got a con next weekend.
Where do you go next weekend?
Good night, folks.
Central New York con.
Cool.
So I'll be going to Utica.
Only
Good,
because you
bad.
have to.
I'll be the guy with the boomstick. That's all I'm going to say.
No.
All right, folks.